Now I really want to talk about Eddie Hall because Eddie really broke the Guinness Book of World Records by doing something that no other human has ever done. And I want to talk about how Eddie was able to do it because it's something that I think we can all use to try to reach the impossible. And again, if you're coming in late, type in and tell me, what is that impossible thing that you want to accomplish? And again, you've got to dream big here. Most people get to the end of their life and actually wish they would have dreamt bigger and made more, taken more risks and gone into the fears more. So I'd really love to hear what you want to do. I got Marco Mimi says, I want to be the next billionaire. I love it. Garen says, I want to be a professional obstacle athlete by age 45. Why not? Alexandru says, I want to bury the antivirus industry. Okay, cool. I like it. Cherie says, I want to build a house. Why not? I'd love to do that one of these days. And someone else says, I want to have a net worth of $5 million. Bers Valdez wants to stop addiction. I've been there with you. It seems impossible sometimes, but you can make it, and I want to talk about this concept of improving 1% every day to actually get you there. So let's get back to Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall is a big man, as you can see, right? And I love Eddie. His episode's coming out this weekend, and you have to watch it. He is the strongest man in the world and also one of the most emotional men in the world, one of the most real guys in the world. And this is him with his tattoo, The Beast. He's actually even bigger than that looks. He's 350, 370 pounds. And this is him with the world record deadlift, 500 kilograms, 1,100 pounds, which was way above his own record and way above anything that anyone had ever done. And Eddie walked me through what it was like to actually make that lift. I want you to listen to what he said, and I want to come back and tell you how you can use that to accomplish your goal.
When I came along and said I was going to pull half a ton off the floor, the reaction was very negative. You know, no one believed it could be done. And when you think about it, it was such a ridiculous statement back in 2015 when I said I was going to pull the half ton off the floor. And even the promoters, just, you know, I said to them after a strongman show, I said, I want to pull half a ton off the floor, but obviously I want to get paid for it. It's like, how much do you want to put forward if I were to pull half a ton? And these are seasoned promoters, you know, they've been in the game years and years.
Who know how to promote.
Who know how to promote, who know what's capable. And they just looked at each other and were like, yeah, how much do you want? You know, it was just seen as the impossible. You know, I put it on Facebook and Instagram and it was all negative. It was like, it can't be done, impossible. Just shut up, you're an idiot. You're just talking shit, you're just selling tickets. And
this was part of your game plan because this is how you motivate yourself.
It is, isn't it? It is, yeah, in a way. I like to put things out there that are impossible, you know, that are extreme and would, for 99.999% of the planet would think, no way, that's just not doable. And then I love to say that, get the reaction, and then be like, right, I'm going to do it now. And it's that negativity that really does fuel my fire. It's literally throwing coal onto my fire to train harder, to dedicate my life to things and go out and get them, like I did with winning the world's strongest man. The half-ton deadlift was exactly the same. Just the reaction was just all negative.
Gives me chills listening to Eddie talk about that stuff and the fact that he pulled that off. And again, beat his own record by 47 kilograms. And I know Thor, one of the other world's strongest men, tried to beat it. He tried 475 recently and couldn't do it. And I just love how Eddie set the bar so high that someone has to just go to another psychological level just to get there. And I spoke to Eddie and I said, how were you able to do that? And he said, Brian, I spoke to the scientists and they said it's physically impossible for a human body to deadlift 500 kilograms. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? He said, it's just not possible if you go with the tendons and the muscle fibers. They said the only way to do it is to get yourself in one of these panic reactions that we see when mothers are trying to save their children. One of these things where you basically kind of block out the world and adrenaline gets pumped into your body and you do these superhuman feats. And so what Eddie did was he practiced a visualization and a routine in order to make this lift. And what he would do is he would go into the bathroom of the gym that he was in and he would sit there in the toilet and he would visualize everything that he was going to do, just like he was going to do on the day of the lift. And then he would kick open the door, just like he did on the day of the lift, and he would walk out and he would take himself to a really, really dark place. And this must have been a tragic event that happened or a tragic scenario that would allow him to just summon every molecule of his strength to make that deadlift. He wouldn't tell me what that dark scenario was because he said, Brian, I can't go there. And he said, I can never use it again. I could only use it once, because if he tries to use it again, it won't have that same shock, adrenaline pumped impact. But he rehearsed it, and then the day of it, he actually took his mind to that dark place. And so I learned from him the visualization, and that he worked 365 days to get that lift. So it was the visualization process of doing it, and it was going through that day-by-day routine of deadlifting that got him to that final result. And one of my guests on the show named James Clear has a great book called Atomic Habits, and he says, get 1% better every single day. That's what you need to do. And by day, it doesn't seem like very much, but if you do that over the course of a year, that's 365% non-compounded. Now compounded, you're probably 500% better. Think about something in your life that you just did 5 times better. What if I told you you could have 5 times the money you make 1 year from now? Most of you would take it. What if I said you were in 5 times better shape or 5 times happier? Most of you would take it. Whereas if I said, do 1% better tomorrow and make sure you do it every day, you might be like, yeah, I'll try. So this stuff can really compound on itself. All it takes is the focus, the visualization, and that daily practice and routine to get 1% better, and you can knock off one of those big, massive, bodacious goals. So again, if you're coming in late, go ahead and type in and tell me, what is the impossible thing that you want to accomplish? I got some great people here. I got Adam Jedi that wants to win the lottery. I totally get that. Alaf Arat said, get out of debt. That's my dream, which is great. Patrick wants to do 26 muscle ups. That's a serious record. I don't know if there's anyone that's done over 20 before. So that's a pretty serious record, but I bet you can do it. Jason Parton says, I wish to be a vessel of cash flow while also being a philanthropist. I like that. Funneling revenue to impoverished communities. I love that goal, Jason. I really like it. What I would have you do if you're in my academy is stick some numbers on there. What kind of cash flow do we want? $1 million a month, and then what does the philanthropic ventures look like? When you can visualize that, it'll make it much easier to take those 1% steps. Emil says, I want to make a living through music. I love it. Again, quantify it. Let's get a gold album. Let's get a certain revenue thing. It's much easier to break it down if you can think of it. Remember, I put a man on the moon. That's a goal. Eddie Hall, 500 kg deadlift. That's a goal. It's quantifiable, specific, measurable, achievable, and time sensitive. It's like a SMART goal, and this is what I also teach in the academy. Super powerful. Sean says, I want to see Taiwan to be a fully fledged member of the United Nations. I love that goal, Sean. Perfect. It's measurable. It's actionable. It's specific. I like that. Give me a time, and you're good. Within the next 10 years, get on that. I love it. And then Mark says, legalizing cannabis and psychedelics worldwide. Amen, brother. Let's make that happen. I love it. And Linda wants to break her sugar addiction. So look, all of this stuff can happen. Again, take the 1% steps, visualize it, and you can get to where you want to go.
At London Real, we believe that individual transformation can change the world. Join us and start your journey today.